Well, I went to the head office.
Yeah.
That's
Well, what was happening was
You went to the head office.
And I ended up.
I want to hear what's going on and then leave.
I drove
We
and
tailored our meeting to.
to go to the baseball game. And I was like, okay, I'm not.
Oh, I swear we get the jurisdiction updates.
Right, I see.
Business.
Yeah.
And so people don't want to stay for.
Oh, I understand.
Yeah,
But
it's better for us to have that stuff up.
yes,
But it's
absolutely.
not. We have to decide which is.
Difficult.
Well, but I think when it comes to something like this,
Different places.
Yeah.
which is like so
Yes.
important, the fun.
Right. And we may need to bump.
Oh, big countries like San Francisco, okay.
Yes.
There's like a freaking contest, $30.
Before the protocol.
That's there.
Exactly. Okay.
That sounds like.
Yeah.
Always tell me.
That could be.
So I was like, I could figure out how to use the night show and we just drove and watched it. Just like 450, you jumped on the.
I know, because like.
If you go to the, oh my god, that didn't have to always tell me about.
We went to all the. We went both. Close. And then we just. We were there.
Yeah, we need to be distinguished. What is
They're free, right?
But yeah, there's all the choosing that's not even fun to free.
Hey, Paul, we have a quorum. I'm good. How you doing? 1:30.
I wanna go to that.
But and then we went.
Oh.
The only thing we didn't have.
I need the agenda.
Yeah, I printed.
Hi, Paul.
Yes.
No, it's hard.
Really, that's that one of my very first was trying to remain.
Why did you over here?
No, I was really there. It is kind of.
Someday I'm gonna be myself, so I get out of the car. But no. Okay, I know.
We walked about 7 miles.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah.
I think we're waiting for that
settlement, nothing like we're already.
Yeah, we did. We did the archive.
I know.
I go to the White House because I didn't know yet. So next time I go, I'll call them. Okay, I'm coming back.
Yeah.
I'm gonna see the White House.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Place thing.
To the Capitol. Pretty much Capitol Hill.
So we're trying to get stuff from there.
So was it-
Insurance company.
Yeah, I mean, got there, it was raining.
Yeah.
And it rained outside, then we have to deal with tropical storm outside.
Yeah. It can be humid here and work a
It was
job.
80
Have all of that
degrees.
stuff. And
I was
I
thinking,
even deal with your morning emotional stuff. It's like, just put that on the back.
It was, and I didn't check my company email for, I left Friday night and I didn't check my email after the office. You tell you back before the
There's
30.
none of that, but.
Oh, yeah.
By the way, down to 7. Yeah. Most of it. I'm sorry. Huh? Which.
No, right, over the past, yeah.
So for me,
there's something that eating off that's, that's happening really hard on me and everything's there. And the setup is here perfect. And this is where we do the work.
everyone else that was here don't have restroom.
No, it's not.
Oh, my God.
It's, I didn't really. Well, it makes you realize how young California is.
I didn't get to get down to Williamsburg. I want to go there, but that was a 3.5-hour drive. Both days.
I mean, a lot of it, I think we need to use different phones right now.
Oh, yeah. Like,
Yeah.
we drove up from Macau,
Oh, wow.
Virginia. We
It
drove.
was very overwhelming for like.
That has an impact on your guys.
Yes, you would have.
Over.
Yeah.
No.
No, no, we didn't.
Pressure on all sides.
Like the audio tour. and the
Yeah.
audio tour is like $10. Basically, you drive around. You ready?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll tell you that. We're going to call the meeting to order 1:30. Can you verify our form, Veronica?
Yes, so please, when I call your name, please let me know you're here. Aaliyah Armstrong. There are name badges over there if you want to just grab safest and have a seat anywhere. Faith Dayton,
Here, present.
Teresa DeSimone.
I'm here.
Hi. Jackie Williams.
I'm here.
Joseph Ditto.
I'm here.
Paul Davis. He's here, he's just using the restroom. Noemi Guerrero. You know what, let's move to the head before I finish this. Okay. We don't have any other participants. Okay, Karen Lovato. Here. Blythe Post.
Here.
Amanda Archer. Judy Albert.
Here.
Joanne Brewer.
I'm here in Sage's place.
Yes. Sam, Dan McIntyre.
Yeah.
Natalie Shepherd. Sandra Stolfe. Here. We have a quorum.
All right, thank you, Veronica. I'll wait for Paul to get back really quickly. Is there any public comment you got, Veronica? Is
I received no advance written public.
there any public comment from anybody in the room or on Zoom? Anybody? We'll move on to funding. Veronica, do you want to go over the two recommended actions for the COC?
Yes, we have two recommended action items, both related to the fiscal year 2023 COC program competition. The first one is regarding the project listing, the priority listing of which applications the COC is recommending in which order. And then the second one is to review and approve the full COC competitive collaborative application.
Okay, you want to go over the first action first?
Yes. You have a staff report included in your packet that explains what it is. And the recommendation is that we received two applications, both from the Community Development Commission. Both were renewal applications. The first one that is rated highest, net number one, is the Permanent Supportive Housing Tenant-Based Rental Assistance, or TRA. It scored at a 76.9%. So this year HUD reduced tier one to 85% of what it did last year. So they got a smaller budget this year, so they had to reduce our tier ones. So in tier one is probably about 90 to 95% of their requests. And then the balance of $35,787 is falling into tier two. The second application that's rated as number two recommended is the Coordinated Entry Supportive Services Only project. It scored at a 76.3%, and 100% of its amount is in tier two, making it 100% competitive. The amount is $93,312. And so the ad hoc funding committee's recommendation is the PSH TRA application be rated 1, and that the Coordinated Entry SSO project be rated as number 2. Any questions from the board?
There's no questions from the board. We'll need a motion to move that forward.
So moved.
In a second,
I second.
we can stand there, Jackie. Any further discussion? Roll call, Veronica.
When I call your name, please say yes, no, or abstain to the motion on the table. Faith Dayton,
Yes.
Teresa Di Simone,
Abstain?
Jackie Williams,
Yes.
Joseph Ditto,
Yes.
Paul Davis,
Yes.
Noemi Guerrero is not here. Karen Lovato,
Yes.
Liz Post,
Yes.
Judy Albert,
Yes.
Joanne Brewer,
Yes.
Dan McIntyre,
Yes.
Sandra Stolfi.
Yes.
Motion approved.
Thank you. We'll move on to the second one. I made the mistake of diving into it this morning because I hadn't actually read the application before. That was a mistake. That was a rabbit hole.
Yeah.
You want to go over that, Veronica?
Yes. So I have completed the collaborative application that's due every year. We had a public meeting to review the components and what it contains. There was some discussion and focus on the healthcare collaboration, discussion, applicate questions that it asks. It's only asking if any applications in the 2023 COC competition are new projects that are in collaboration with healthcare or hospitals or anything like that. We have two applications, both are renewal. So the answer is no, we have no new projects. So the answer is no, no matter who we're collaborating. There's one item that is not quite complete. It is a fairly new one. It's regarding the input from and participation of persons with lived experience of homelessness. I'm having trouble finding it at this moment. But in order to qualify for any points, we have to have signed either one letter signed by a bunch of people, by at least 4 people, or 4 separate letters from individuals who have lived experience of homelessness that participated in COC policy or operational decisions. We only have one, and her name, and that's Aaliyah Armstrong. I have sent a letter to her as a template. I haven't heard back. I'm going to call her today, try to walk her through signing it electronically, but we only have one, and we may not even get one. And we will not qualify for points under that section. And there's just no way around it.
Right.
So that pushes on our future things we need to achieve is establishing a lived experience board.
Or wasn't that part of the?
It was part of the HAP RFP, but we received no responses for it.
And the magic number in the future is 4.
That's what it is in this application.
We need to remember that when we establish a board.
Yes.
Okay.
All right, well, that sucks, but it's typical for HUD too.
Tell us how you feel, okay?
I haven't been around people for a week. So I'm still digging through my 300 emails. Well, it doesn't sound like we have a solution for that then, Veronica, other than trying to figure out how to do the lived experience board.
So if anybody knows of any organizations that might be willing to do it, at this point, we've procured for it and no one has stepped up. So we can do a sole source contract if anybody is willing to take on the project. So if you have any ideas, let me know.
There's details for the requirements for this somewhere that I can look at.
It's very
Bag.
It's open to a lot of interpretation. Every COC does it a little bit different.
Okay.
It's dependent on what your local needs are. I do have some training materials from national conferences where they've had presentations by lived experience boards. So I have resources, but it's not like a packet, a toolkit on how this is how you do it.
Gotcha. So it's a board of people with lived experience that can provide
Policy
recommendation
feedback,
and feedback for
Yeah.
us, which sounds pretty
Right.
critical. Okay.
So
With
is it-
4 people total.
A minimum of 4, I would recommend 5 so that you have,
But
No 2 and 2 voting over and
5
over.
to 7.
Got it.
yeah.
Okay.
So
Interesting.
Veronica, is this like an advisory? Would this be like a kind of an advisory committee to the
Yes.
COC?
yeah, we
Um,
talked about it as part of the board revamp as having like an advisory committee. That was a lived experience, since often we get into those conversations, but what we have since Q left, we've had a hard time maintaining. you
Right,
know, participation in lived experience, so maybe if there is a forum that's more comfortable for the people to be in, where, you know, it's all lived experience in an admin staff or something, it might be easier to maintain that participation.
And by having a contract with an outside organization doing this, we can pay them to do it. And we can include funding for incentives.
Oh, okay.
So we can give people a $25 gift card
Or
for coming, an incentive.
Oh, we
I can't do that as the county.
right, okay.
So there's funding to go with it. There's incentives to do it. We're not asking people to do it out of the goodness of their hearts. We're really wanting to put our money where our mouth is.
Mhm.
But if there's nobody to run it,
And so would you see it in the examples that you've been exposed to, where it's a group that meets regularly, but there may be particular times that there's a policy review or feedback solicited from the group because of putting new programs together?
precisely.
Or, okay, okay.
Usually lived experience boards will have certain seats for people with dedicated experience. So like a parent, a youth seat, maybe a chronically homeless person, you know, that kind of idea. And so that would be brainstormed and put together by whoever wants to operate this project.
So we'll just get 0 points on that for that, or the application.
And that's gonna make us less competitive for tier 2. Which may impact our ability to get the coordinated entry grant again.
Oh,
And I usually when a tier 1 application is awarded and there's a balance in tier 2, HUD does its best to be able to fund that remaining amount out of tier 2. But if there's one that falls solely only in tier 2, it's moved into that real competitive, HUD's gonna start at the top based upon scores and work its way down, and when it runs out of money, they run out of money.
Yeah, money's gonna get tighter here this next year too.
Sure.
Okay, so is there any discussion on this before we get a motion going for the second item, 1B? Bad, but I can read that better than I can read the paper. I need a motion for the funding recommendation action or the approval of the competitive application, collaborative application.
I make a motion to approve the COC application.
Is there a second?
A second.
Any discussion? Public input? Not seeing any. Roll call, Veronica?
When I call your name, please say yes, no, or abstain to the COC collaborative application approval. So, Faith Dayton,
Yes.
hold on, no, go down. Rita Di Simone,
I'm gonna abstain.
Jackie Williams,
yes.
Joseph Ditto,
Yes.
Paul Davis,
Yes.
Karen Lovato,
Yes.
Blythe Post,
Yes.
Judy Albert,
Yes.
Joanne Brewer,
Yes.
Dan McIntyre,
Yes.
Natalie Shepherd,
Yes.
Sandra Stolpe,
Yes.
Motion approved.
Thank you. Is that all you needed from us on the funding side there, Ronnie?
That is it. Those are both the agendas items. That's
Okay.
it.
So the next meeting will be October 16th, which is Monday at 1:30 here in the same room.
And it is a full membership meeting. Okay. So we'll have a bigger table.
A bigger table. I'll bring my glasses. Thank you, everybody, for coming.
Thank you, Teresa.